Hi, welcome to SBR Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. It's week 9 in the NFL, and we are talking with Joe Duffy from OffshoreInsiders.com. He's going to tackle a very interesting Miami-Buffalo game. Joe Duffy, a lot of factors taken into consideration here, so that's why we need the best of the best to help us try to figure out what's going on. Of course, Buffalo off the bye, off a demoralizing loss. They're having a lot of injury issues, but the bye might have helped them with that, right? So it was kind of an ideal time for them to get their bye, but they're still having the issues. Tyrod Taylor, I'm reading, is 100% going to be back at quarterback for Buffalo, so that helps a lot. A lot of other guys are kind of probable. They might be Percy Harvin might be back. It's looking like he's probable, I read. And then Miami, of course, had the 2 huge bounce-back wins. Then they got blown out by the Pats, but that's a little bit excusable, or a lot excusable. How excusable is it? How much are they going to bounce back here? And they, of course, lost Cameron Wake and the offensive lineman. So a whole bunch of uncertainties here and a whole bunch of question marks. My sense, though, is that with Tyrod Taylor back and Miami off the big blowout and with Wake out, the over might be a good play, and I actually bet that. It's 44, very modest total, an average total for an NFL game. What do you think about over 44 Miami-Buffalo, Joe?
And Carlos Williams will hopefully be back for Buffalo. I would say that's probably a pretty good bet because, as I said, again, that betting totals is a lot more about the pace and the play calling than it is offensive and defensive competence. Of course, offensive and defensive competence are very important. And again, I do think that with the new coaching staff, Lombardi, they realized that if their make or break is whether or not Tannehill is for real, and they really have to put it in his hands. And like you said, Buffalo, they will most likely have all their offensive weapons back this week, or at least most of them. I don't know if I would call Harvin, if I would call him probable, but he's certainly questionable. Does look like Taylor will definitely play. Williams, I think, is probable to questionable, and Sammy Watkins, another one. It looks like he's also kind of probable to questionable, especially if they have those big 3 back. Their offense is going to be better than it's been all year, and I do think that the Dolphins are going to have very aggressive play calling. So we pretty much agree on that.
All right, so right now the total is 44. Again, very modest. I bet that one. Do you want to go official with that? Over 44, Miami-Buffalo?
I will go official. I will agree with you. And by the way, at least the early forecast says the weather's going to be mild, so it's not going to affect anyone. It won't affect Miami going from a hot weather to a cold weather city because it probably will not be cold weather. So, I will agree with you. We'll go with the over.
All right, so that was actually the pick you were going to give before you heard my analysis and my pick?
I was actually leaning towards that, and I'm also looking at a possible premium play on the side. I want to see some line movement and some more injury reports.
All right, sounds good, Joe. And of course, if Joe Duffy does make that a premium play, it can be found at his website, OffshoreInsiders.com. For the purposes of our videos, though, Joe's going official with over 44 Miami-Buffalo. Joe Duffy, tell us a little bit more about OffshoreInsiders.com.
Yeah, I flat out said, look, before the season began, I streamlined some things I purchased and traded for some great new systems. It was going to be our best season ever. Well, it's not our best season ever. It is the greatest sports season ever by any handicapper. In fact, we're winning in every single sport, 38-16 lately, 21-8 college football, 23-10 in football overall. Just visit the website for all the details. Already a bunch of big plays, college and pro, off for this weekend at OffshoreInsiders.com.
Amazing, Joe. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Peter.